it's time. Sex on the Bridge. Yeah, Sex on the Bridge with me, Carlene, the original dancehall queen. And bringing to you my weekly dose of grown and sexy radio content. You don't want to miss it. You don't want to miss it. Good night, everyone. And how are you? Well, happy birthday to my very great, good brethren, brother, friend, not lover, but friend, Ninja Man, the original gold teeth, pan teeth, front teeth, whatever, Don Gagan. Happy birthday, Ninja Man. And I wish for you today, boy, I wish you were somewhere else, of course, free, out, we'd definitely after the show tonight, Sex on the Bridge, or I'd probably have you on. Yeah, we'd be partying, but guess what? You're alive and well, and we'll still have time to do that. So happy birthday, Ninja Man. Just had to, as a matter of fact, I want to throw to something for Ninja. Yes, happy birthday, Ninja Man. Oh, yes, that's Ninja Man and Tinga Stewart. Cover me. But they say cover me, it's, I don't know. Happy birthday again, Ninja Man. Desmond Valentine, happy birthday to you. And I know this is from Pinky, Suzette, Lorraine, all of my family. Crystal, yes, happy birthday to you. Oh boy, my country in a little turmoil right now. Yes, because, what great Usain St. Leo Bolt has been in the media, in the news, about his missing monies. I wonder if I should leave the fraud and the finances to the hardcore news. Only can tell me about that later, but I know it's on everybody's lips, and I'm not certain what I should say or shouldn't say on it, because I just hope them give back Usain his money, run for it. Please to give him back all of his money, all right? The man retired, main fund, come on. But as usual, if you're under 18, please take your little tittle tats to bed. Come back Wednesday or Thursday for Richie B or, one of the morning programs. But please go to your bed. This is an adult show and we have adult content. So I don't want anybody parents that I heard it on Dancehall Queen Carlene, Sex on the Bridge 99 FM show. So go on to bed. Yes, not. But tonight, I'm going to talk about something that I really do find interesting and always trying to understand it. Kind of halfway understand it, don't really understand it. Astrology. Yes. Zodiac. What we call it again, Suzette? Sign, sitting with a sign. Zodiac no, sign. we have a word where we call it all right, it will come back to me. Star sign, no. Like you just say, what sign you is? Signs. Yeah, star sign. Right. No, we say, what you sign? Yeah. Yeah, man meet you. What sign are you? Huh? I can see, I can hear. I'm not dumb, so it's not. No, they're talking about the astrology, what sign are you? Yeah, your zodiac sign. So tonight we're going to have that discussion. Zodiac sign, zodiac and life, love, relationship, partner. Some people follow it so much where they don't do certain things at a certain time. So it has a wide range. So we're going to learn a little bit about it tonight. And of course, guys, you can call in to be a part of the show. It's 876-676-4996 or send a voice note 876-551-5782 to be a part of the show. Good night, Pinky. Good night, Keisha. Good night, Lorraine. Good night, Elijah. And of course, Crystal and Ryan. Good night. I have in studio with me tonight my sister. Yes, real sister. Same mother and father. Real. Not one of the ones, we just we're sisters now. This one is my bigger sister, and we're here tonight. She's going to tell you about her side of the story. I won't tell you. When I introduce her, I'll let you know. But as usual, you can go follow The Bridge 99 on IG or YouTube. It's The Bridge 99 FM. Or you can go follow me, Dancehall Queen Carlene, on IG. And, give a little story of the show or anything else that you want to give. But we're going to have some fun tonight, are we? Yes, we are. So I'm going to introduce to you my guest. Um, as I said, Suzette Smith, who believes in astrology and dating her men based on their zodiac sign.
Yes.
Suzette, good night.
Night, night.
Thanks for being here.
I'm happy to
I
be
didn't
here.
have to broke her hand or twist it or anything.
Not at all.
All right, and my other guest will be joining me in Zoom, Tara Nikita, professional astrologer. I really didn't even know we have that. So I'm such delight to meet you, and we have a lot of questions to you. Good night.
Good night. Thanks for having me. Good night.
You're most welcome. I really wish you were in studio with me, but I'll take Zoom.
Me too. Yeah.
What made you choose astrologies?
It's a very good question, and I'm not sure we have enough time to answer that tonight. You'll be here till 1 o'clock tomorrow morning. But
Okay.
really, a calling. I'm really a counseling astrologer, and so that means that I help people to just navigate their lives, and so it's really therapeutic and counseling work. And so you really are with people every day as they meet their life issues and problems, including relationships. And so it's really a calling. It's a desire to help and a passion for helping people. That really is what it is. So.
So you have a lot of persons is interested in this?
Yeah, well, I work mostly online, and so a lot of people who come. I mean, I have a full client practice, and so people come to me day in, day out. I'm seeing clients or doing client prep, and so yeah. I mean, of course, in our online world, the world is your client base, really.
Right,
so,
right.
And yeah, so definitely people are interested both locally and internationally. So yeah.
And did you have to go to a special school or anything for that?
Well, you can certainly go to a special school if you wish, right? I mean, since I was a child, 11 years old, that's when my first attraction to astrology was at 11 years old. And then since then, I have done a training with international astrologers before. I have done that, in my 20s and stuff. I would have done training with them. But then I also would have done self-study. And so, you learn, but it's a combination of apprenticeship and self-study and just where you really kind of get your expertise is not through study but by actually working with people. So a lot of the astrological principles come alive by talking with people. So you move from the book to really human dialogue. Yeah.
Oh, so you can actually do this at university?
Well, no. Well, I mean, they have, well, not conventional universities. So let me not cast aspersions about UE, right? But there's no astrology course up there, right? But you can formally study it with teachers, or there are online schools, or even physical schools you can go to that you can actually study this subject at. So yeah.
How long is the study? I don't know if you said it, but how long is the study or the practicing? How long have you been studying?
Well, I mean, since I won't give my age away, but it's been a long time. I mean, over 20 years, so it's been a long time of just interfacing with astrological content. But insofar as how long you study, it's a life thing. It's a lifetime of unfolding the meanings and the understanding. As you talk with people, as you also have your own life experience, you begin to sort of understand these principles in a deeper, kind of more embodied way. So yeah.
And what made you choose astrology?
Yeah, I mean, it chose me, really. I can tell you, I didn't go looking for it. I didn't say, oh, let me go and do this. I mean, my academic path did not include anything like this, really. So I think it chose me. Again, it's just that desire to help people through counseling and a therapeutic framework, which astrology really blends very, very well with. So, yeah.
All right, for the audience, listeners, and viewers, explain what is astrology.
Again, we could be here all night. We could
no,
be
just
here.
The basic.
We could be here.
Well, we have 2 hours, but just the basic. So, some people please, foolishness. Some people don't even know what it is.
No, it's true. So, okay, let me give you a kind of framework. So astronomy says, here is the thing in the sky, okay? And astrology says, well, here is what it means. So astrology is, on one level, the study of the cycles of time and how we give those cycles meaning. and it has to do with the meaning of our cosmos, but how we astrology really is understood now as sort of, well, like kind of main branch of it is the study of personality. So it's a tool to help us really understand ourselves and our life experience. But strictly speaking, astrology can be applied in many frameworks. You can use it to understand historical events, cultural events, nations, finance, so as you were alluding to in the beginning of your program, a big issue for us now in the country is our financial sector. And so, it'd be interesting to see what the astrology has to say about that at this time. So, but yeah, I mean, people really know astrology as helping them to understand something about their personality. So we could say it is the study of personality, really, in its main application.
Yeah, because is there really something in the air? Because chopping, thieving, scamming, fraud just been popping up one after the other, all sector of life. It's not just the lowest sector.
Industry.
It's everybody. So do you think it has anything to how the earth is changing or turning, or I don't know?
Yes, I think and I've come to understand that. I mean, astrology sort of, no, how do I put it? It reflects to us our state of being. It can help us to understand that. But any sign or planetary energy, so it has a range of expression, okay? And what defines that, in my view, is our state of mind. So you have a sign, and a sign can have a range of expression. So you know signs as Aries or Scorpio or those things, and
Right.
you'll meet at Aries or a Scorpio, but they don't all stay the same, okay?
Right.
And you have some who might express certain traits more negatively or positively, but that has to do with the quality of their state of mind. You understand?
Okay.
So astrology can give a framework to help us to understand some of those issues. But yeah, so it can help us to understand the sort of weather, what's in the air, and how are people responding to that, but also how they respond to that is conditioned by their state of mind. Is a key point I want to make, that it's people's consciousness and their quality of mind that really, helps us. It really, that is what influences how the astrology expresses itself, if you follow what I'm saying.
Sure. As a question, why is it necessary or isn't necessary to consider someone's sign when dating?
Well, you can if you wish, okay? And
Right, we're going to who wish.
Yeah. Yes, if you want, you certainly can. I wouldn't say to somebody, look, you have to do that. So, for me, the kind of standpoint that I take is, yes, it can be examined, but you mustn't write off. Don't be mindful of how you write off somebody just on the basis of their sun sign, for example. So you say, okay, fine. What sign are you? Somebody says I'm an Aries, okay, and then you're a Scorpio. And strictly speaking, in the zodiac, the Aries Scorpio thing might be a bit frictional. How those signs relate to each other is a bit frictional. But astrology and personal astrology, which is shown through what we call a natal chart, an astrology chart, is made up of a lot more than just someone's sun. So we have the sun and the moon and Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Pluto, Neptune, Uranus, and that is in a whole chart, and it's configured in a whole diagram. And that really is saying that people are much more complex than their sun sign. So I'm saying astrologically, it might not be the best thing to just say, you know what, well, guess what, me a Scorpio, and this man is an Aries, so you know what, boy, bye. I don't know if that is the most constructive, but it certainly is good to know, because you want to know the creature you're dealing with and some of, let's say, their key needs and motivations. So the way I see it is it comes alive when we are actually navigating how to be in a relationship. That's different from am I attracted to you, but where it really comes alive is the business of actually relating to someone,
So choose if that's what you're into. Study the different signs. You'd prefer or recommend that?
Yeah, I mean, listen, having astrological knowledge, I mean, well, it can be a harm. It can be a harm or a help, it's all about how you come to it, right?
Okay.
So I'm saying, sure, If and relationships, there are different stages to them. So when we just meet somebody, it's different from when we Jamaicans say what? See me and come live with me. Two different things. Okay. So see me is one thing, but I think where the astrology really comes alive is in the come live with me part. How no, we are going to work this thing out. How am I going to relate to you on a day-to-day level? How do I understand you? How do I improve my communication with you? So I think it is in the actual unfolding of relationships that astrology really becomes a very helpful tool to help us to understand
And the person.
our needs, our partner's needs, also points of compatibility, but points of friction, because two people are not perfectly compatible, okay?
Right.
So you have points of compatibility and you have points where we just part ways. It's just natural, okay? And so sometimes the astrology can be more useful in understanding and navigating those things. So I can see where my partner is coming from. I know where I'm coming from, and then how do we navigate? How do I use this information practically now to navigate actually being with this person? So yeah.
All right. What are the main points in the natal chart for us to consider?
Okay, so well, from my point of view, it's everything really, because it's the whole pattern of the chart, okay? And we have but to talk about the chart, we have to break it down to be able to talk about it. I mean,
Right.
that's kind of just what happens as an astrologer. You have this very complex diagram. In fact, I wish I had something I could just show you how it looks right here. I'm sure I can find a paper, but you have to know, navigate between understanding the chart in a holistic kind of way, and then also understanding it in a more broken down way. So conventional astrology might say, yes, okay, fine, study somebody's sun sign. Their moon sign would be very, very helpful to know. And not just the sign, but in astrology, the individual planets, so sun, the moon, and astrology sees the moon as a so-called planet. So individual planets in the chart are related to other planets in the chart. So it's a very complex diagram of not just signs, but planets and how they relate. So you want to have some semblance of a holistic understanding of it, but certainly a starting point could be someone's sun sign, someone's moon sign. That could be really important and useful in terms of how do I deal with this person on a day-to-day basis.
How do you know? How do you know? Like how we know I'm a Taurian. How do I
Right.
know my moon sign or my sun sign or my whatever other sign?
Okay, so what we'd have to do is to take your date of birth, your place of birth, and your
Okay.
time of birth. Okay?
Okay.
And so what we do is to cast a chart, and we can do that with software these days. Back in the olden days, they used to draw it by hand. You have to know your mathematics and your geometry to do that. But we can do it with software. And so if you are Taurus, which means you're born April, around that time of year, April, or
May
that time of year,
1st.
or May, right? So
May 1st.
May 1st, right? So you would want to know your time of birth, your place of birth would be important. So we can erect a chart for you to see all of those things.
Oh, so you can't just know your moon without doing those things.
Well, we have what is called in astrology an ephemeris, which is a book that I could pick up right now and say, I know your year, so your date of birth, and I know it, and I can go and say, okay, fine, here is Carlene has sun in Taurus, moon in Cancer, Mercury in Aries or Taurus. Same, we can find that out, but to get as precise as possible, you want to really have someone erect the chart so you can see it in an accurate way. But you can easily find that out. It's not hard to find that information out if you know your birth time. Yeah.
Oh. That
Your day of birth and your birth time would give the most accurate picture of things.
Oh, so. All right. Well, it's break time. So before we know more about the charts, we're going to take a break on Sex on the Bridge, and we'll be right back. Galaxy Astrology by Kiprich and somebody else, Diani. Nice song. Never heard it, but hey, tell me about the 12 months. All right, welcome back to Sex on the Bridge. And of course, tonight we're talking about signs. Who match who? Who fidel with who? Who shouldn't deal with who? So, of course, we're learning a lot more from my guest tonight, my very informative guest, yes, astrologist, Taro. Taro?
Yes, that's right.
Yes. All right. Welcome back. And of course, I have in studio with me my sister, Suzette Smith, and she only date man by the astrologies, by them sign.
Right.
Welcome.
Thank you. Thanks.
Straight to it. You have to talk into the mic.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Why you date men only by their signs? And then Tara, you can help me to help her to understand.
Well, I do believe in star signs. So when I meet a guy, the first question I ask is, what's your star signs? Because I've dated and I've known guys and I've seen their traits, and not just dating or going out with them, you can tell that no, that don't turn me on. But there's a specific star sign that turns me on, that float my boat, and that's Virgo.
Oh, I guess we're really sisters, because that's I love Virgos too.
All right.
You see, what you know, my engineer Kevin is a Virgo. That's not good. Careful, Kevin. Careful, right? She is Pisces. Is that a good match?
Well, that makes a lot of sense in terms of that sort of basic attraction because, well, Virgo Pisces are what's known as opposite signs, but opposite don't mean necessarily at war. Opposite signs in the zodiac really speak about complementarity and balance and the potential of bridging differences to create a complement and a balance. So it does make sense that you would find that sort of complement to your energy. And that's what astrology, from a sort of relationship standpoint, we want to understand, how does my energy field merge or connect with somebody else's? How does my personality stack up or match up with that? And in fact, in astrology, the department that deals with that is actually a whole department in astrology that deals with relationships. It's called synastry, where what we do is we compare someone's chart to someone else's chart. So, Virgo man and Big Sis would want to take the two charts and look at them and not just see their sun sign, but we'd also see sort of other lines of connection between other planets now where the real juice is too. Right. So, I'm not saying that we should not consider some signs, because people gravitate towards signs. Why? Because they recognize something of themselves in the description of that sign. They recognize key needs and motivations. They say, yeah, man, that sound like me. It sound like me. And so you're ringing a bell in for someone. And so, I'm not saying at all that you should throw it out, but I'm saying it's not the only leg you should stand on, in my view, but certainly it's good to take it into account. But that makes sense. The Pisces Virgo thing makes sense to me. Yes.
Oh, so let's say Pisces Virgo, because I've read on many charts, like when I'm reading my signs in astrology or zodiac matches, and they do have signs that they say you shouldn't date.
Yes.
So this one is okay.
Yep.
Well, again, people are not signs, so I'm not saying you can date any sign.
No,
just
no. Forget about even if it's people, just the signs that they'd pair together. Would that be one of them?
What,
Yep.
Pisces and Virgo?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes, because and here's why it makes sense, because signs are really elements that flex a certain way. Elements meaning fire, earth, air, water.
Water,
okay?
yeah.
And so think about it. You water your plants. That's earth and water. Water nourishes earth. Pisces is a water sign. Virgo is an earth sign. There's a natural complementarity between elements.
Oh.
Now, fire and air, so you need oxygen to make a fire.
Right.
Okay, they build off of each other and they create a nice fire if you get things going properly. Now,
Fire will
earth
burn.
would scorch earth kind of thing. Water might dampen fire. So
yeah.
there is a sort of logic to it, elementally speaking, that does make sense and does help us to navigate our lives. But again, not the only leg you must stand on, but certainly elementally.
As this is the show, we want to know. So does Taurus and Virgo goes?
Well, Taurus and Virgo are both earth signs. And so, yes, I mean, they're both earth signs. So they have that in common. As to whether in practice, that might work is a different question, really. But certainly,
does Scorpion and Virgo works?
Well, Scorpio and Virgo are, yes, Scorpio and Virgo. So Scorpio water sign, Virgo would be an earth sign. So elementally, they do sort of have that complementarity. There is that, just by element, yeah.
Okay.
Would you say air and earth?
Well, think about that. How might air and earth kind of work together? I mean, I think an earth instinctively you would kind of think, oh, water might feed an earth more than, let's say, an air. So it's not that they don't work, but it's you think about how they flex.
So fire and earth definitely no. No, meaning just as we're speaking about it.
Yeah, elementally, there's compatibility on the elemental level. So, fire and you said earth, right?
Yeah.
Fire and earth, not necessarily kind of jiving all the time on an elemental level, but yeah.
And air and earth. Is it air?
Yeah, I mean, air and earth is like, okay, it's come see, come saw kind of thing. It's like, it's all right.
I'm on the cusp.
Okay, so you're Pisces.
Aquarius.
She's February 19th.
19th
Okay, so
of
you're on the
February.
Aquarius, Pisces Aquarius side, not Aries. Okay, so you're on the cusp of Aquarius, Pisces.
In my research, both signs are compatible to Virgos.
Yes, I mean, it would be. I mean, in the sense of...
They're both water signs?
No.
So you said what again? You said Aquarius?
Pisces and Aquarian.
Pisces
you said Pisces. I thought you were saying that you're on the cusp, right? You said
yes,
so you're
and it's Pisces and Aquarian. She's February 19th.
Right. So the if you're on the cusp, so to speak, right? People who are born on the cusp, they tend to relate a lot to both sign energies. They might say, yeah, man, that Aquarius part sound like me, so I can relate to that. And the Pisces part. So from that standpoint, you said, Aquarius and Virgo, might have some similarities in a certain sense of how they might approach some things. Yes, being able to kind of stand back and look at things systematically is a kind of general trait that two of them might share. I mean, in very basic terms, but yeah.
And for the people who don't understand what on the cusp mean, it means when you're borderlining. So she's the 19th, when on leap year it's the 18th, and then on leap year it's the 19th. So explain to them what does that mean. I know. What
being on the board? Yeah, it's exactly like you said, on the borderline. Okay, so it's when the sun is changing signs from one to another, that little transition zone.
Yeah.
And so I have a friend who is on the Sagittarius Capricorn cusp, and we're talking about this, and she was saying, boy, I feel like both, I really do. But she's right that the sun is in that transition zone between Sagittarius and
because for instance, being a Pisces, being an Aquarian is from January 21st to
January 21st
to February 18th sometimes, 18th or 19th.
Right. So the late part of January into February. Yeah.
Right. And December would be like December 20th to January 20th. So if
that would be right. So you're looking at
somebody on the 21st might be just half and half.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, when the sun is changing into exactly right. So yeah, there it is. Exactly right. Yeah.
Okay.
You had a question for her?
No, I was asking the air, the water, and the earth. How do you come about? How do they come about
being named?
That
Why there is a signal for it where you get
Or
the
each month,
how those
each star
elements come
sign.
from, how they arrive, what
Yeah.
makes them, with the design that they have.
So okay, so you're asking. Then I want to be clear on what you're asking me. I just want to make sure I understand. So ask me again so I can make
Ask
sure I
her
understand
again.
what you're asking.
Okay, the earth, the air, and the
The elements, the
water,
fire,
the
earth,
elements,
water.
yeah.
Right,
How do they come about? How do I know that I'm a air?
Or
How does
water.
that come about?
Oh yeah, well, it's pretty much handed down as far as we understand it. So it's you can go and study this. I mean, so signs have been assigned, or let's say they are understood in terms of elements. As part of what a sign means is an element that flexes a certain kind of way.
Okay.
So in astrology, we have what we call cardinal, fixed, and mutable. Not to get too technical here, but I'm just telling
That's
you,
all
just
right.
because we're wrapping here. And then you have the elements: fire, earth, air, water. So you might have cardinal air, that's Aries. You might have fixed. Cardinal fire, excuse me, would be Aries. Fixed fire would be Leo, for example. So you have, or let's just water. Okay, you might have cardinal water, that would be a Cancer. Fixed water would be a Scorpio. So it's basically talking about elements that have different styles of expression. Okay,
During the time of the year.
yes. So exactly, it is understood seasonally, and so as the sun changes in the year and the sun moves through the sky, we have seasons and we have the signs that correspond with the movement of the sun. So it observing nature also does help us to understand how things work too. So yeah.
How did we arrive at making Taurus a bull, Pisces two fish, Leo lion?
Yes, well, a lot of this stuff has to do with the association with the constellations too, okay? And so what things look like, the constellations, and so signs are not constellations because, well, some people they're different astrological systems, right? And some might align signs with constellations. That's one way of doing things, meaning the actual configuration of the stars in the sky, okay?
Yeah.
But
Okay.
in the astrology that we use, we really divide up what we call the ecliptic, so the plane of the Earth's orbit. We really, let's say, we divide it up into 12 sectors and 12 signs. So we divide up that circle into 12 parts, and we have 12 signs. And so that's technical stuff here. You don't want to,
I just want to know how you end up with a bull and then one scale.
Yes, and it is, but these constellations and these ways of describing them, a lion and a bull, these animals, they help us to understand some of the nature of the sign. Okay, so so let's take lion, for example. Leo, the association. What do lions have? They have regality. I mean, you see a lion in a zoo, it's like, wow, this it's dangerous.
It's dangerous.
But
just seeing
it commands respect. And so a key Leo need, for example, is the need for respect, the need for pride, some of those things are a kind of Leo, let's say, characteristics or qualities. And so, but lions too, they have this wonderful, the king of the jungle, okay? So
because they're always fearing them. And then two fish. It couldn't be one big sprat. Why two fish?
I know it could be a sprat or a snap or a parrot, right? So, but I mean, there's a whole kind of, I mean, you can read upon all of this stuff in terms of
and then you have a scale with the Librans. That's to tell you how imbalanced they are.
Balance. Yes, the Libra has to do with balance, absolutely. And so the scales would have to, would describe that. So Libra has to do on one level with how one thing relates to another.
And then the Geminis with two different persons.
Right. So Gemini people often relate to this. They call themselves a Jekyll and Hyde. They have two parts of the personality that they recognize, or this sort of thing.
And one of them is with a half man, half something.
Right, Sagittarius. So it's the Centaur. A half man, half horse. but the arrow of the centaur is, so it's or a horse, so there are these things that can help us to understand.
What does that mean though? Because why half man, half horse, human?
Well, that's a whole other thing too. I mean, as to how much you pay attention to these things. I mean, people can connect with any kind of symbol and find meaning in it. But the arrow is really what the bow, meaning, the bow and the arrow as a symbol of Sagittarius. And it speaks to going beyond where you are, going out, exploration, going beyond your frame of reference is a really important thing to do with the Sagittarius sign principle. So people like Sagittarius, they like to travel, for example. Travel is taking yourself and going out. It's movement, it's expansion way beyond your local sphere. And so the arrow is a symbol of, the arrow taking flight, you going beyond your usual,
Free out. And
Yes,
then a
yes.
scorpion.
Yes, and well, Scorpio has kind of different animal associations. There's a snake, there is the scorpion, there is the eagle, for example. So there are different, and that gets us into different dimensions of a sign. So, they say scorpions, well, don't mess with them because they will sting you, okay? And they will not be
then
nice
the
to
bull.
you. And then the bull can be, well, a symbol of being stubborn, but also persistence. Okay, so Taurus people can really be known for their being able to have persistence, endurance, but also Taurus is aligned, or it is linked with Venus. So there's a strong kind of sensuality with Taurus people. They like to, be among things that make them feel comfortable. They like touch. They like, things to look sort of beautiful and comfortable, and that sort of engagement with the material world is an important Taurus thing. So there are several, there are ways of understanding signs. Elements is one.
Aries, look a goat.
The goat, the mountain goat, the Capricorn. Yes.
Yeah. No, the Aries.
Aries.
Oh, which one? Okay, sorry.
goat.
Yeah, right, fine. Okay, yeah.
And
Okay.
Aquarius. The water.
The goat. Why?
Yeah.
Just as you're explaining all of them, I just want you, so nobody said, but you never tell me mine. So the goat, Aries.
Well, okay, so I mean, okay, so I'm thinking about more of a Capricorn kind of thing.
Yeah, I told her the goat.
Yeah,
Aries.
So, well, okay, we might have a difference of a thing there with that, but
Well,
Yeah.
Aries is always the goat with a big horn, a full goat with a big horn.
yeah. There's a difference with the Capricorn thing, but
Yeah,
okay,
the
fine.
Capricorn has a railing like
Fish and the
no,
goat.
the Capricorn
Oh,
have the
tail.
goat with a tail.
Fish tail.
Yeah, kind of different. Well, it's a ram. What do you call it? The
Ram.
kind of
It's a ram. Yeah.
The ram is
Aries is the ram.
ram. Okay, the mountain goat is more of the Capricorn, but the ram. So you think about that. Like what do you call it now? How does that animal move in nature? Really, think about it.
What, the Aries?
Yeah, the ram. Like what is?
They're usually just armless, waiting to be eaten.
No, well, really? Yeah, but if I provoke one, yeah.
The horn is their
Well, the
defense.
strength is the horn.
Aggressiveness,
Yeah.
kind of pushy, kind of.
Yeah.
If you step to
Pushy,
me, I'll step to you.
That's
energy.
right,
You
yeah,
understand?
pushy, yeah.
Right. So you can think about those in nature, and you can kind of.
No, the little crab. Cancer.
Cancer. Where
Confused.
where do you
July.
find crabs really? Water.
Hole.
June,
hole.
July,
Well, you have sea crab and land crab. You find them in holes.
True.
Always going in a hole.
All in the holes, but they like kind of you can have different environments that crabs go into, but Cancer being a water sign, crabs and sort of being in watery environments, picking up things, they're quite absorptive, they take in things kind of thing. So emotionally, Cancer would be quite absorptive, they take in stuff, they
They're quiet about it.
What's that?
They're quiet about it. They're always hidden, but they're absorbing it.
Yes, I mean, you could say that. I mean, yeah, Cancer, but there's the animals in nature point to specific parts of the sign, but
Okay.
it's not like the animal would
Itself.
totally encompass what it is. So there are several ways of understanding what Cancer is as well.
Aquarius.
Yeah.
With the water and like a person surfing or water.
Right.
Pouring the water.
Right, pouring the water bearer, right?
right.
So
Yeah.
Aquarius often has to do with the bigger issues that face humanity, okay? And the noble impulse to uplift humanity is often what Aquarius, well, the nobler part of Aquarius would want to uplift and assist humanity. And so the water bearer is that kind of symbol. What do I do in my personal time to think about larger concerns to do with humanity and the planet and groups of people, collectives of people? And so the desire to kind of uplift humanity and in a collective way is very Aquarian, and to advance a collective is a very Aquarian thing. Yeah.
Virgo.
What you said
what
about
is
the-
Virgo?
Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
I don't
So
know
the
what
maiden,
it's like a little man. I don't know. Floating
like
lady or
like
something.
a maiden is or like a Virgo, the kind of maiden or something that has to do with purity or chastity and that kind of thing is often what Virgo is associated with. So there are several archetypal associations that help us to understand, these things, but also the wheat and, talking about discrimination. You say separate the wheat from the chaff, having to do with discernment and not just discernment, what's the word I want to use? It's a particular word I'm looking for, but discrimination, that's what I wanted, that other D word. So Virgos can be quite discriminating, separating out this from that, and they can be known to be a bit picky, but it's about the faculty of discrimination, okay? That's what they really are good at. Analysis, fine-tuning things, understanding things on that level. So that's a kind of tour, a kind of
Yeah,
walkabout.
so you might think they're miserable.
Yes, people do, because they can be picky and what we call fastidious and picky, and this can't be good enough, and they want this to be this standard, or they want to fix this. And so it can be a little bit like, Lord have mercy, give me a break, man. Jeez, So,
Still
yes.
attracted
So,
to them.
yeah.
What's the sign you would not date?
I would not date an Aries
Okay, why is that now?
because
She
as
was
you
married
said,
to one.
They are chauvinist. As you said,
Okay.
the bull with the horn,
The goat.
The ram.
the ram, they're chauvinist.
Well, what that means is that you've had experience with someone who is of that nature, who probably is living that out or playing that out using the negative aspects of Aries. But certainly I do not want to leave our listeners with the impression that why the Aries man did no
That's
good for them.
my
That's her-
experience.
right, her
It's your experience. I'm
Yeah.
just saying that if that person is that, maybe they're kind of playing up the more negative traits of Aries, perhaps self-centeredness or
Yeah.
uncaring.
Exactly.
Me can be an Aries
Yeah.
thing too. But Aries can be wonderful at getting things off the ground or starting things and all of these things. So
Start and
each
not
sign
finish.
has bad and good, is the point.
She says start and not
Start
finish.
and not finish.
Yes, it's true, because actually that is quite in keeping with the nature of what Aries is. Aries is the cardinal, the starter, cardinal fire. So the flame comes up quick, but it might expire quite quickly, So start, but boy, that flame not going to be up for a long time.
That's right.
I also want to know why women and men, a woman born April 1st and a man born April 1st is two different kind of Aries. Why is that?
Because men and women are different. Men and women are very different.
No,
in
I just
environment.
want you to tell them, so
Yeah,
people.
exactly. Yeah, you're so right, because it's a wonder how men and women really have relationships, because we think so differently, right? So there's that. But again, I'm emphasizing too that we're not just signs or astrological
Right,
profiles.
right.
It's a lot to do with the other things in our chart that describe us in a more complex way, or so there's that. But yes, to your point, that astrology just does help us to understand the energy flow between people. But for me, as I was saying in the beginning, it's like I think that a good application of it has to do with, what happens in a relationship, and how do I use astrology to understand communication differences, for example, you know?
Yeah.
All right. On that difference is we're going to take a break on Sex on the Bridge, but we'll be right back. Yeah. Show crime, Virgo to Leo. I guess that was his experience. Welcome back to Sex on the Bridge with me, Carlene, the original dancehall queen. And of course, my very two guests tonight, my beautiful sister to my right, Suzette Smith. And of course, I have Taro Nikita, professional astrologer. So tonight, to be a part of the show, you can call 876-676-4996 or send a voice note 876-551-5782. Right? Ask the question. She's here for you. Ask Suzette or myself, anybody. Call up the things, talk up the things. But I'm going to throw, Daniela is going to read some of my social media comments.
I wasn't ready. Good night, Origination. How's everybody doing?
We're good.
All right, so we asked a couple of questions on social media, right? And these were some of the responses. So we asked, in your experience, which zodiac signs are the best lovers, right? First of all, Carlene said best lover is Scorpio.
And Virgo.
Conroy Green said, my zodiac is Pisces, Aquarius, cusp, and it does matter. It's as important as knowing the time because these things shape our reality, whether we're conscious of it or not. So his are Pisces and Aquarius. Deca Jam says Taurus, Scorpio, and Aquarius. Christine says Cancer. They are so loyal. They make the best friends. Tammy says, so far I would say Leo. Mary says, best lovers are Scorpio. So what are 2 for Scorpio so far? Mm-hmm. The best friends, they say, are Pisces. Yep. And she also said, no more Capricorns for me.
No.
Empress Jen says, best lovers are Scorpios. What are 3 for Scorpios?
Yep. Tick, tick,
oh
tick.
My God. And Carlene is like, yes, Scorpios.
Tick, tick, tick.
All right. Shamark said Pisces, Libra, and Cancer.
How many for Pisces?
2.
Tick, tick.
Okay. Lotus says, I'm a sucker for Scorpion men. I like how powerful they are. Team Scorpio. 4 for Scorpio. All right. Billionaire Mag said, Cancer. My husband is everything. Christine says, best friend is Gemini. Best lover is Gemini. Creamy says, Cancer. Cancers are the best lovers. And we got 2 more for Leo. Well, we got 1 for Leo and 1 for Capricorn. Yeah. And
I had a lot on my page. If you had gone to my page too.
Yeah, man, we're going to go to your page.
Because they were like, no so-and-so, yes so-and-so.
Yeah, and on the bridge page, we got some persons that said, I think it was a 50-50 for, you know what, let me come back to that
Daniela,
point.
what's your best lover sign?
I would say best lover, Taurus.
And yours?
I've never had a bad lover.
No, not not lover. Worst sign that you would never date or won't date again.
Let me see. I don't know, let me see. My best signs, I love Sagittarians. I guess I like my best friends in life have always been Sagittarians. I love me some Virgo people as well. I guess along well with Virgo people. And I'm also a Virgo moon. So I feel like there's something there.
Virgo in you?
Yes, I'm Virgo in me, so I see it in other people, yeah. And I like Pisceans too, the sensitive water people. Yeah, I like them as well. Yeah, I don't know. I hear people talk about Scorpio people all the time. I've never had the experience.
So put it on your bucket list.
Oh, forget a Scorpio lover.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or a Scorpio friend.
Or a Scorpio friend.
No. Scorpio lover.
But hold on though. I will say that my mom is a Scorpio.
Okay.
And we have a good relationship. But I can see this sting. We can see when the sting come out. You know what I mean? But besides that, she's really good. I get along well with her. We have good conversations. And I recently had a Scorpio friend. I just met a Scorpio recently that friendship in your adult life can
It's
be a little bit difficult.
different.
Yeah, but I've been getting along well with this new Scorpio that I met.
Okay.
So there
So you
might be
just
something
need a
there.
Scorpio lover now.
Yes, and then tick that off my list because I'm not gonna lie. I've always been hearing about Scorpio lovers, but I don't know what it is.
Get this thing and then you'll know.
Okay.
Tara?
Yeah.
Yes. All right. So you heard some of the comments of who wants what and don't want what. Why is it if you have an experience with a sign that you tend not to want that sign person or want that sign person?
Well, it makes sense. It was a bad experience for you. You don't want to repeat it. You know what I'm trying to say? So we run away from the things that that were negative. But I mean, what you notice from the list is that there were all kind of signs. Each person had
their own, right.
Scorpio. So it is the best lover for you and your energy
right.
field.
And
Okay,
you have
so
some
not
people will say they are the best person. So you'll ask, what's the best sign? And they indulge themselves and say whatever their sign is.
Yeah.
Like, they're always going to say, my sign is the best sign. Your sign is the best sign. Her sign. People tend to say they're the best. Nobody grades themselves badly.
Yes, of course. That's just human nature, right? But again, people are not signs, and then a sign describes very key motivations and qualities and needs, because in certainly in counseling astrology, signs help us to understand needs, somebody's core needs. And so, it's people are not signs, but signs help us to understand people. But to go back to just
all right, hold on. We have a call. Sometimes them credit.
Yeah, man. Of course.
Go ahead. Hello, welcome to Sex on the Bridge.
Hi, good night.
Good night.
Love the show.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So, this question, it's a comment and a question. This, responding to Suzette, that's her name on the panel.
Yes, it is.
Hi.
Suzette, thing about a Virgo rocking her boat.
Yep.
Suzette, you never try a scorpion. You never try the scorpion first. Then you can say, yeah, the boat gets rocked. The boat gets a little shake, but then I get a full rock. You understand?
Well, you know what? I'm very satisfied with my Virgo. Very.
Rocking our
He
ship.
rocked my ship.
It, float it.
Send it round the island and back and round the Mediterranean.
Okay.
And what was your question?
My question is, are Scorpions and Capricorn compatible?
That's to you,
That's
Tara.
for
Tara.
yeah.
Yes,
Tara.
elementally, the sign of Scorpio and the sign of Capricorn, earth, water, they do have a complementarity. But as Scorpio, as I am, Scorpio Club, a Scorpio might encounter an individual Capricorn that they might not have much compatibility with, So it really is just, yes, elementally, Capricorns and Scorpio would, as signs, they have a complementarity, but as people, with our complex makeups, it's possible for a Scorpio to find a Capricorn now. So you know what? No more Capricorn for me. Forget this. Bye.
Oh,
So,
okay. Well, there's a potential. Capricorns are probably never cut him off from now.
I'm sorry, say again? What's that?
There's a potential Capricorn, but I never cut him off from now. I'm in a plan to dress up Christmas in a pajama.
You heard that, Tara? She said she'd have planned for dress up Christmas in a pajama with him.
Yeah.
Well, I better you put on one long gown.
I got that. All right, guys. Thank you. Good work, Carlene.
Yes,
Love
thank
the
you.
show.
All right,
Bye.
Bye.
thank you for listening and calling. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. I have this thing where I can literally tell you the man that's mopping me out is going to be two things, a Libran or a Scorpion. Why is that?
Well, I'm sure if we looked at your chart, we could understand why it is that you feel this kind of way. Perhaps, we could take a look to see if we had a deeper understanding of just your wiring, we could.
The
You know.
men that likes me and I've dated is usually those two signs. I know a
Yeah.
Virgo come in the mix. I've never dated a Virgo before.
Right.
It's my
Right.
first time and I'm enjoying it. But usually it's a Scorpion. First choice is a Libran. I can
Right.
tell after talking to this man, because I'm going to ask him just out of curiosity. And then he says, oh, I'm a Libran.
And that's the kind of men that you have found attractive or have.
Them always come at me. And
They
then I
come-
know
they
it's
come at
that
you.
sign. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I've had bad and good because I've
Right.
dated one that I said to myself, oh, shooks, I'm never going to date a Libran man again after dating him. But then my two boyfriends before that was Libran was to die for.
Yes, yes, and that's an interest that brings us to a good point because, you know.
But Mark, you know, he has all the qualities, not all, but most of the they all have something in common. This
Exactly.
one just have a sore somewhere in a theme, something.
So you will notice that they have things in common, which makes sense. I mean, they have a kind of their similarities, which same signs, so there's similarities in general. But then again, you know, how someone will will kind of express a sign energy is unique too, you know. So you can have the vindictive Scorpios, for example. You can have the ones who are very loyal and emotionally.
No, I had
tough.
no problem with a Scorpio. I had it with a Libra.
Yeah, I'm just saying that signs,
okay.
you know, people can express sign energies in a range of ways, and more positive, more negative, and sometimes both, you know. So there's that too, you know. But you know, I was thinking too before you, on our last break, that sometimes, you know, we need someone who is different from us in key ways to teach us something or to help us to have a part of ourselves grow and develop, you know. So sometimes we mustn't just skirt differences, because differences can really bring out the best, you know, between two people. And so, you know, it's a tricky thing to understand, but, you know, differences can be very productive too, you know. But to go back to just astrology in relationships and using it practically, which is really what I'm concerned with. So for example, the planet Mercury has to do with communication. Communication can make or break a relationship, right? So if you understand something about someone's Mercury sign or Mercury placement in their chart, you can perhaps help to smooth over certain communication tensions because you have an understanding.
Right.
But sometimes it's also to know, well, where might we knock heads? You understand me? Sometimes in a relationship, you get on well in certain ways, but then the charts, the astrology might say, you know what, on this area, you know, here's where you might knock some heads. So it's good to know this information and see if you can use it now to try to navigate some of those little areas and to achieve more understanding, you know? So if you want, I can give you a personal example if you're interested in hearing that.
Yeah.
All right. So my business now. So I am with someone who, so I'm a Scorpio and Mercury in Scorpio as well. So Mercury has to do with how you communicate. And I'm with someone who is an Aries, you know, Mercury in Aries. So how he communicates is an Aries style. So let me tell you how it works practically now. I tend to be often quiet or silent. I know you won't think that way now because I'm talking on the program tonight, but I tend to like to process things deeply before I say something or think about it deeply.
That's
or
a Scorpio.
I can be very silent. I can just be in myself, and you know, you have to dig down to get me to speak. Now, his Mercury in Aries, his communication style, he's just rapidly sharing his thoughts with me, just like this. And sometimes that he might get frustrated with my silence, but then also I might be like, oh gosh, she kind of just
Chat too much.
You're just going a bit fast for me. I need some slow time to process and percolate and hold this and think and, you know, prolong my thinking process. And so, but I know this information going in. So when I'm seeing it play out, I'm saying, okay, fine. Well, here is this point of tension, and I have to bring more. I have to now draw for some relationship skills because Carlene and Big Sis, you can know astrology, but that don't mean you have relationship skills. It's a different thing. So I would say to somebody, look, look, maybe you should invest in getting some relationship skills, meaning, and that come with maturity too. So there's a lot to this sandwich, a whole
Yes.
heap in the sandwich, whole heap in it, so.
All right. And also, when you're compatible with somebody sexually
Yes.
and nothing else,
Yes.
how,
You have that too.
how you make love with this person and he's to die for. When you're done, he's like, Jesus Christ, this man
That's a wrap.
Yeah, that happens too. I mean, that's absolutely true. That
what causes that? Is it the
Well,
signs?
Well, I don't know if it's okay. And causation we could spend a whole night discussing if signs cause something, okay?
Right,
But
right.
people have different energy flows, and sometimes, like you said, you can have that sexual compatibility. Perhaps their Venus Mars signs, or the way that the Venus Mars in each person's charts are relating to each other's chart. That might describe a dynamic of a strong sexual attraction, but perhaps in the grander scheme of things, that relationship was not really meant to be anything else but that. We can talk about what relationships are. Sometimes we need certain experiences to help us to grow as people.
That's right.
And sometimes, well, you might just find that you've had an experience. It might be just a sexual one, but that's valid too in itself. It might not be that you're meant to make up house with that person, but you might have learned something, or you might have grown through an experience of that, so it's a lot. Sometimes the attraction sexually is leading to a point of growth or learning, is my point, so.
Is Venus and Mars the sex sign? Whatever.
Yes,
They're
Venus
rude,
and
sexual.
Yes, Venus and Mars are planets, and planets are in signs. So you can have Venus in Scorpio, Venus in Pisces, Venus in Aries, whatever. Mars likewise. Yes, and Venus, Mars are symbols for, as we know, feminine, masculine, and that kind of
So
interplay.
Venus being feminine, Mars being masculine.
Mars being masculine in very basic terms, Venus feminine, Mars
Right.
masculine energies, and the parts of ourselves that we each have masculine, feminine,
But how
and-
does that intertwine with the signs? With the signs though.
What do you mean?
So
Meaning the sun sign?
Venus, Mars. Yeah, how we don't have sun, moon, then we have water.
That's
Why
my
is that?
point. Exactly. So in fact, it's a good question, because astrology has what we call aspects, meaning exactly what you said. How does one thing intertwine with something else? So,
Yeah.
for example, you might have, let's say, the sun might be in a particular intertwining relationship with Mars, for example. So your sun could be intertwined with someone else's Mars when you look at the charts together, through what we call aspects, which is an angular relationship that describes an energy flow. So that might also be something that can describe where sexual attraction is, that I'm plugging into the part of them that's quite masculine, or this person's masculine side appeals to me or feeds me in a certain kind of way. So, astrology does help us to understand these sexual dynamics and what goes into that, but it's a complex thing, because if you've seen a chart, it's a very complex diagram, and people are complex, so yeah.
All right. So for years, you're always me. I don't know. Well, we just saw it on my thing. Respond. Right, the poll, and before the poll, people always say Scorpions are the most sexual sign. They're good lovers. They're great. Why is this?
I think, honestly, I think it's a reputational thing, but Scorpio, let's go to the reason why, meaning that the sign Scorpio means, from a kind of personality standpoint, that there are certain needs. And Scorpio needs tend to be, I need deep connecting, deep intimacy, deep relating. So Scorpio has the need to penetrate, no pun intended, but we're on adult shit tonight.
No,
so
man, you can say
yeah.
that.
right? So Scorpio needs to have a certain depth of intimate experience, and that can lead to pursuing a sexual encounter in a certain kind of way. which so Scorpio can be quite sensual and quite passionate in that sense, but it doesn't mean that all Scorpios are good lovers, or that you like your big sister here, like Suzette. I mean, she might find that her Virgo should not budging from that. She's fine because it's what suits her. So here's the thing: not everybody. It's not like, you have like, for example, in magazines, who wore it best, okay? And so sometimes don't go and shop for a Scorpio because you just hear a Scorpio is nice, okay? That might not be for you, okay? So it just means that I think you'd be far better served by, find someone who you genuinely like and you feel a genuine attraction to, and then you pursue and you say what that is, and you see what that is. But I don't advocate shopping for signs.
So is there any connection between sexuality and astrology?
Yes, and that's what we were really saying, that the astrology helps us to understand someone's sexual expression. It can help us. A study of someone's chart can help us to understand that. So we can get good data from how the planets are connected to each other, also the signs the planets are in. And it can, but remember now that each, so you can relate to Tim or you can relate to Harry. Now, each of those relationships are different chemical reaction, okay? And so how your sexuality might blossom with Tim might be different from Harry, okay? The energetic interplay is different between these two entities. And so you might just find that, well, Tim really does it for you because of just the nature of how the energies interact, and the astrology can help us to understand that too, So yeah, for sure.
Yeah, because it's one thing to say, okay, yes, I dated and I choose to understand my best lover, and when I check it, it's a Scorpion. Fortunately or unfortunately, it's not that he is the best person to have sex with, because a lover is different from. Right, sex is different from, because you might be the great lover and not a good sexual
person
partner. So it's always been said, as you said, probably it's the zodiac or it's just luck.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose, yeah. I mean, both. Yeah.
Tara, which zodiac signs are more affectionate, not sexual, affectionate?
Is affectionate? That's a good question. I mean, we could look at this in several ways. All right, so let's take them down the line. All right, we might say that because Taurus might want to be be quite sensual, that they might be. Just for example, Taurus is known for a certain sensuality, meaning feeding the senses. And so that might make them want touch, for example, which might qualify as affection. Leo, for example, might shower you with praise, and Leo might, give you affection in a certain kind of way and praise you and big you up and make you feel good. A Cancer might be quite emotionally nurturing in their own way and cook for you and do kind of emotionally nurturing things. So I guess it's also what you mean by affectionate, because each sign will have their own kind of love language and how they express affection too.
Or probably who is more hardcore or less, not sexual, no, but like most Taurus appear cold-hearted, where they don't show emotions. They don't cry over stuff.
Yes.
All the ones I know.
Yeah.
They're hard. I have a couple sisters that are Taurus, and they're the least affectionate. Caring, but the least affectionate.
Yes.
They don't cry a lot.
Right. They might not cry a lot too. I mean, Taurus can be, think about his earth sign, can be a bit hardy and practical and down to earth. Let's get on with business here. Let's get on with business too. But the need for sensual touch can describe where Taurus in its own way can be affectionate, meaning the need for sensual involvement, that can describe that. So everybody's different though, and so when we are discussing with signs, it's limited because we are just discussing one
Right.
kind of aspect of the thing, you know? So yeah, there could be many reasons why a Taurus person would or would not be affectionate.
All right, I'm going to throw to some voice notes.
Sure.
I think this is great because I think people could really benefit from paying attention, to their sign and how their mood or how they're feeling to help them understand themselves better. And then therefore you can understand who you want to date, obviously. So I feel like people should pay attention to this, pay attention to themselves, and not be bound by the sign though, because sometimes they go read the opposite. What about the feminine signs that have people that are masculine that don't match? I don't know. I think this is.
It's very interesting that you say that, because I do find that women with similar astrological signs have same behavior. Like, I have two baby mother and them both born in April, and if me upset them, I tell you say the two of them stay the same, them not stop till them get upset me back, you know what I mean? So it's very interesting.
Do you normally take into account the zodiac sign of the women you date?
To be honest, no, no. I don't really fool around with the zodiac signs like that. Like,
What's your zodiac sign?
Libra, that's what they call it.
Libra,
Yeah, Libra.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, do you ever think that any particular sign presents a particular way?
No.
You find that you're attracted to women who are from a particular month or a particular sign?
No. Any girl, you see, the way how I look at it, you see, the right girl always will come my way. No matter the zodiac signs or what. You see, once the girl is loyal, once the girl is always there for me, once the girl is always supportive, same thing there for me. That's all I want. Love and everything, and well supportive. I said that multiple times already. So, but the thing is, it's not about the zodiac signs. It's really about how the woman comes about in her life. Like, imagine.
Do you normally take into account the astrology or the zodiac sign of the women you date?
No. Why? A person is they determined by who them interact with and who they grow up. That is it. That is swag.
All right, hold on. All right, so tell us about which sign you've had the most luck with dating. Women under which sign?
I think in terms of kindness and getting along with them and just loving, June women and October women.
Okay, and what's your sign?
I am Sagittarius.
You're a Sagittarius.
Yeah.
So June, beginning of June or the ending of June?
I don't quite remember. I just know it's in June. So I think whatever sign rules in up to the 21st in June.
Okay.
I don't even know. Is it Gemini or Cancer?
Yeah,
Is Gemini?
Gemini.
Yeah.
Gemini ends on the 22nd of June.
I happen to know about 4 women closely, not dated everybody, but really
Yeah.
and them loving, them just sweethearts.
And
you know?
October, I think, is Libra.
Also, one of the things I've found out over the years, men don't really care. It's always the women. Even when we did a survey, I could tell you 90% was women who it mattered. The men didn't care. Some of them say, they don't even know what sign my wife is. I don't care. So it's a different that they know or just don't care. I guess men don't kind of believe in astrology.
I mean,
some men don't.
Many men do, but it's 2 points that stood out to me in the voice notes. One was about self-awareness and using the astrology to have self-awareness, to be aware of who you are. Okay, we all getting into relationships with people, and we have things to clean up: beliefs, expectations, attitude, childhood patterns. All of these things are in the mix. Okay, and so let's be honest about what that is. So self-awareness helps us to, be more introspective and to help us to clean up the things in ourselves that prevent us from being in healthy and harmonious relationships. And so I also liked the voice note which says the right girl will come my way.
Yeah.
And then the astrology will help you to kind of help you to understand the rightness of this person, but focusing on being a good human being, for example, and being the kind of person that you would want to date. Okay.
That's right.
So, so those practical things are not out the window. So we can talk from here up and down about with sign and all of that. And it's important. And I mean, I'm an astrologer, so I'm not, denigrating the usefulness of this system, but I'm just saying that we have to be practical and we have to understand that there's work and, there's work in relationships.
We're going to understand that we have to take a break. We're going to take a break from Sex on the Bridge. We'll be right back. Yeah, Gallus Astrology. Oh, boy. Good night. Welcome back to Sex on the Bridge with me, dancehall queen Carlene, and I'm in studio with my beautiful sister, Suzette Smith. And I do have an astrologist on the line on Zoom, Tara, to call in 876-676-4996 or send a voicemail 876-551-5782. Oh, we have a voice note. Straight to it.
Good night, SOB family. Tonight's question: does the zodiac sign matter when dating? I'm a little flip-floppy when it comes to astrology. On some forms, I want to say I believe, and then on the other side, I'm like, well, it's a lot of general characteristics that can be applied to anybody, so I'm not sure that I'm on the side of believing in zodiac signs. However, I will say in terms of signs that I would never ever date again. First of all, I have no luck when it comes to Leo men nor Virgo men. Virgo men, I think, came out of maybe Satan's ball sack. Yeah. So not going down that road ever again, willingly. I've never really said to somebody firstly when meeting them, what's your star sign or whatever. I don't feel like that's very important. But if it so happens that, I come across any Leo men or any Virgo men, we just will not be crossing those lines ever again. Best lovers, again, sorry, no, probably more than get to a Libra, maybe I want to say, or a Pisces. Yeah, maybe definitely a Pisces. But I haven't sampled all zodiac signs, so I don't feel like it's a fair comparison. Well, my best friends are under Cancer and Sagittarius. So, as a Leo, I don't know if any other Leo have best friends of such star signs. So yeah, that's my take on astrology.
All right. Tara?
Yeah.
Did you hear her?
Yeah, man, I have some responses.
Yes.
For sure. So, talking about general characteristics and, say, well, the astrology, I'm not sure if I really believe it because it sounds so general, and she's absolutely right that, people's astrological profiles are complex. It's a chart that if I may just want to show you here.
Wow.
I'm on video here, just showing it to you.
Yeah,
and
mark up.
So these are my markings on it here, and just the angular patterns and all of that. So what helps us to get what makes us get specific is having a birth time and being able to see an entire chart in its complexity. That is what gives us specifics. So she's absolutely right. But on the sign question, we tend to pay attention to sun signs, but moon signs can be really, really important. Not can be, they are really important, especially when we are sharing domestic space with a partner or living in the same house. And in marriage, we do that. And so the moon is important because it describes some of these really, really core needs. What does someone need to feel basically at home with themselves, in harmony with themselves? So, for example, a Capricorn or Virgo moon person might have a strong need for structure, organization, planning. So, you know, if you're with someone and you understand that they have certain needs that are going to show up when you live with them. So they kind of send me and come live with me thing. The come live with me part, now the moon sign really comes out in the come live with me part. So the sun sign is one thing, but the moon sign would really be important in the come live with me part, you know? So.
And as she said, it's unfair to judge when I've not dated all the signs. So I only can compare to the ones that I've dated. How I know Gemini or Cancer is not a good sign for me. Yeah. I've never, you understand? So True. I'm just judging off the ones I've dated.
Yes, and there's a reason why perhaps you've dated only tended to date certain signs, because you have your own energy pattern astrologically, and that might make it so that you tend to see repeating decimals. You might see, I tend to like a certain kind of man or that. So you just may not have an attraction to, or you may not be magnetic to or pulling in a certain kind of man into your life. So it probably is a case where you may not ever, you know, have occasion to see, you know, certain signs ever, because you're just not really plugged into that kind of frequency, or you're not really plugged into that kind of person, you know? So, yeah.
Oh, a phone call. Good night. Welcome to Sex on the Bridge. Nothing, my friend.
Robert, I like telling you, Robert, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, Robert. Happy New Year.
I found last because I talk to you about my way.
Mr. So you stop calling knowing I think you find a girl. You not get no woman yet?
Me not get no call for the number them.
What star sign are you looking for, Robert?
No, what sign are you first, Robert?
Me, that's July, you know.
What day?
21st of July.
Okay. 21st, so he's a cusp.
Yes.
He's Cancer, right, Tara? He's Cancer.
Did he say
21st?
Yeah, okay, yeah. So
he's Cancer.
Cusp. Is he a cusp?
Could be, because it got to 23rd, 22nd,
right,
23rd.
So he's in that kind of
what
belt.
What
23rd is the Leo. So
what sign woman you look, Robert?
Yeah, look what you did with born to September.
Oh,
okay.
September.
Why?
Keisha, what sign you?
Why you want September?
A good lady called my mother for September, yeah?
Oh, okay.
So that's also another thing. A lot of men tend to lean to their mother sign. Yeah, what day in September?
The 30.
The 30?
September.
So Libran.
Yeah.
Your mommy is Libran, so you want a Libran girl. All right, just send out the number now.
Oh, my no, all right. First thing, good night to the family, long time.
Thank you. Good night to you too.
My number is
not hearing you, breaking up. What it is?
501 1622.
501 1622. 50. Oh, that's why the wrong number should have get. Nikisha, I forgot to give her the correct number. It's 16 she got.
15. 501 1622.
All right. 501 1522. Anybody wants a nice Cancerian down in the country, call Robert. All right, Robert, you want to ask the astrologist anything?
Yeah, we have to ask them say, well, I am a person, I am a very kind person, but we can't find not a person that can find like me.
You can't what?
Find a person who that kind to me, like for me, that kind to them.
Oh.
Yeah.
So, we're not hearing her. We're not hearing you, Tara.
We're not hearing Tara.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, yeah. Yes.
Oh, okay. That's strange. Yeah, no, I was saying to him, I see his predicament, you know, so yes. You can't find somebody who's kind like you?
Yeah.
And I wonder why. Why you think that is?
Why do you know what? This time
Are you sure you're kind? Are you swear so you kind enough? But you're sure? You're sure?
Yes, man. Yeah, we have to man, me sure, man. Me do me
You see,
heart,
all the
man.
signs, them like you were saying, that they, you know, them think them are the best one, you know. You see all of them, so.
All right, Robert. Tonight I'm asking you, what do you look like? So, cause something must be wrong with you.
No, me don't say, all right, me go barber shop was till Sunday. Me go to the barber shop was till Sunday, you see, so.
Right?
Yeah, barber
You're
shop.
tall, you're short, you're fat. You tell me.
Me tall, man, me tall and slim. Not so slim, me have body thick.
Belly, your belly big.
No, sir. Look at this belly.
Your knee knock. You have bandy
No,
leg.
None of that.
You have in all of your teeth.
All of them in there, man. Man.
You have a small penis or a big penis.
Boy, you know, say I can't really. That can't talk over the radio.
Yes, you can. So I'm asking you. More see what the fault is, Robert. Because every night you can't get a girl. Something not right.
No, me don't know.
You sure you don't mean?
No, me can't mean. Remember, say me. All right, look here. I work at a wholesale. Listen. Hello.
Yes, I'm
I
listening.
work at a wholesale. I to a partner. So I can never be mean to ladies. Because ladies have to get what they want.
Okay.
But somebody want too much.
So what you do? Done out the girls in your district?
No, that me don't really look for in my district. You have to go far out.
Oh.
Like say Paddy Town, Kingston.
All right. So Robert, next week call for continue. Because you call too late. Because we're at the end of the show. We have to wrap it up.
Yeah, me know.
All right.
Yeah.
So just keep listening and thanks for calling. But I'll give out the number again. I don't understand why you're not getting a body. Yes, that's my very regular caller, Robert.
Find someone soon, Robert. We're going to call it down for you. We're going to call in the good energy for you. We're going to call it down for you, Robert.
Yes, because it's from September. I'm a looker girl.
Oh, my days.
And him not get none all now. So I don't know. Probably bad energy. I don't know.
Something is not right.
Yeah, Robert, now tell me the truth. But okay, fine. We're coming to the end of the show. It's 2 hours do go fast when you're having
Very
fun.
quickly.
Is there anything you would like to tell them about astrology? And, as you said from earlier, don't base it off but guideline. Use it as, guiding you because it does work.
Yes, maybe you might want to invest in a deeper understanding of your chart beyond, let's say, a sun sign, and even understanding your sun sign, moon sign, Mercury sign, Venus sign, Mars sign as a start, at the very least, might give you more of a framework to understand yourself. So you might want to do that and have that understanding. But my approach is really to focus on having relationship skills, and also think about what it is, what kind of attitude do you have? What are your attitudes, your expectations? Some people, all they think about is their pain and their past pain, and sometimes that prevents them from moving forward in life. So,
yes.
Try to deal with those things and assess for yourself, well, what do I really, in my heart of hearts, feel in terms of relationships? Am I truly open to one? I say I am, but am I truly? And then also to help us to work some of these things out. A consultation is also good. I mean, it really is a counseling thing. So we can apply astrology to many, many areas, including understanding some of the blocks that we have in relationships and to getting what we want in relationships too.
Yeah.
How do we apply astrology to money? Because I know that's a lot of people.
Yes, and yes,
myself.
exactly that. Yeah, that definitely we can understand how we come to money and our spending patterns and the beliefs that sometimes prevent us from attracting money or all of that. So looking at your chart can help you to understand some of these things and how to clean up some of those things that stand in the way of having a good interaction with money in your life, and these things are often childhood patternings and belief systems that get in the way of having a balance.
What rules money in your chart? Like how
There are several things. So you could look at, for example, what we call the second house. So the chart is divided up like you divide up let's say like a clock into like you have 12 sections or 12 slices, okay? And the second house has to do with your relationship to things like money and supply and income and those things and all of that. Also on one level too, your Venus can help to understand that, because sometimes money has to do with your sense of value and worth. You know, people sometimes, it's a very interesting thing, how they come to money is reflective of their sense of their own self-worth and esteem, you know. And sometimes, for example, if you don't think you're worth it, you might not ask for a certain kind of thing, or you might not be able to command a certain kind of income because you're not really valuing yourself a certain kind of way. You understand? So there's several things to unpack and understand, and certainly the chart can help us to understand money and how we come to it.
Final, tell how can, send out how to get in touch with you, your address, your IG page, whatever.
Sure.
Number.
So I'm really, my YouTube is Tara Nikita. That's where most of my content is published. And so I'm regular on YouTube. That's the hub of my astrology. And then
what is it?
It's Tara Nikita is my name. So TARANIKITA, Tara Nikita. And then my website, which is my name.com. So taranikita.com is my website, and you can find things there as well, resources and articles and all of that. And my Instagram handle is tara.nikita. So that's just it, my name. Yeah.
All right. I want to thank you so very much for, of course, enlightening me. I don't know. I hope somebody out there in, TV land, radio land, learned something more about astrology and understanding that it's bigger than just get up and, me and the man match because, we have good sex, or me and the man don't match because we don't get along. It's really more than just astrology. So get into learning about people other than just judging. So not because him is a Libra, put up a cross on him, said, no, run, Suzette, no, run, find out. But also look at the signs that when you see the trait and he turns out to be a Libra, run, because you know what's to come. Don't say, oh, no, I'm different. Yes, but if you see he's like the Libra you dated before, why am I just saying Libra? But any man with the signs that you've dated before, and you're seeing that pattern, understand that it's very similar, and it's possibly because of the sign. Right?
Yeah, I mean, I would agree that, for sure that
because if not, then astrology don't make no sense.
Well, no judging of people.
Right, don't judge them based on the sign.
But use your sign. The signs can help you to make an informed or to have
because
more
think about it, Tara. If that's the case, then astrology don't make no sense. If I can't base it possibly on 50% of it, has to do with astrology. That's why you guys did all the studies, flip the moon, the sun, the star, put them together, draw. You saw what you had there? That would have just mad me. So it's a special human being that got into this and paired them together from our ancestors or whoever was here 1 billion year before or whatever. So it must have been judged based on, and it made sense. Because if I born when the sun dropped down into the sea and you born when it rise over the mountain, it would probably decide how,
different personality.
Yeah. So as I think, if astrology does not make any sense with what our daily life partner in money, health, wealth, love partner, then therefore it makes no sense. Suzette, last word. You want to tell them how they can find you, your restaurant?
Oh, I'm from London. I have a restaurant in myself and my partner in South Norwood, Portland Road. It's called Baller's Spot, and we do Jamaican dishes and European dishes as well.
Just tell the IG page and where you can go.
The IG page is ballerspot.com.
All right. Well, I want to thank you both for being my guest tonight.
Thank you.
I want to thank my engineer and my producer first, Daniel Doyle. Did I get it right? And my engineer, Kevin Williams, the Virgo, Danielia, right?
Virgo.
Yes, he's Virgo.
Oh,
and
she's
she
Virgo.
is, yeah,
Virgo.
no,
Oh.
she's Gemini. She had a twin with some week she not bother with me. And I want to tell you, my sister Pinky, I'll be having her birthday party on the 7th of February at Mecca Nightclub, 67 Constant Spring Road. Sizzla Kalanchi will be there. Of course, the Immortal Stone Love. And this is in aid of cancer. All right, so I hope you all come out. But I want to thank everybody, all my callers, my listeners, the people on IG who was part of the survey today. I appreciate Elijah Reed for telling us that he's a Scorpion moon, and they thought that he was talking, some kind of madness. But she explained that you could be Taurus with a Scorpion moon. Until next week on Sex on the Bridge. And of course, I want to thank my hair, Charlotte Zidal, for installing it, and Dana Bell here on Instagram for my beautiful hair. All right, I'll see you next week. Keisha, Pinky, and Crystal, Ryan, I love you guys. See you later. Bye.
Go to your bed.